What has the COVID-19 virus made you realize? How much food I actually waste on a regular basis. I always thought we did pretty good about not buying too many groceries, or making too much, ordering too much, etc. How wrong I was. I set a goal for our household that we would use up all of our leftovers before making new stuff. It's forced me to be creative and experiment in the kitchen. Really shows you how long your pantry/fridge can actually last you. Yes, this is mine. I've been able to get creative and make leftovers feel like different meals. I've used the gross ends of bread loaves to make breadcrumbs. I made tomato sauce from tomato paste I would have normally thrown away. I've started regrowing green onions and celery from the old roots I would have normally discarded. Everything is getting repurposed. This whole thing has been really enlightening. We wasted so much before. How much you touch your face and how often you touch public surfaces. That I took so many things for granted, like going to restaurants and just being able to go to a supermarket without worrying about what they may or may not have. Grocery stores not having certain things threw me off too. All of the cheap, store brand ice cream is gone. There was a few of the less popular flavors of the Breyers, 2x the price, and Wildnet, but nothing I liked. Also breadcrumbs were gone. I guess I can just make my own. But damn it, I was gonna make meatballs. Anyways, I know they will restock, and I can always find workarounds, but it's still a very weird feeling, seeing all of those empty shelves. How many jobs/meetings really can be done remotely? I didn't realize how much my work defined who I am. I'm a barber, and after a week and a half of not doing it, I feel very incomplete. As cheesy as it may sound, it's my art form, and it gives me a lot of meaning. I'm very hopeful, though, that I'll make it through this and be able to do it again. I'm with you. I'm a dentist, and it's weird to be healthcare but deemed non-essential, but also thankful that we got shut down during this time, since we are at high risk due to aerosols. I miss my patients and my work, and this whole thing has made me realize that I have no hobbies except for working. Because of the lockdown, I found that people think my preferred way of living is hell. Same here. I literally go to work 5 days a week, where I'm in relative isolation anyway, come home and just play games, watch movies and TV shows, browse the internet, etc. go to sleep, and repeat. On my days off I just do the same thing, albeit with going to work element removed. That I married the right person. We've been self-isolating for 2 weeks now, and being with him makes the biggest difference to my overall happiness. This is mine, except it's that I should marry my boyfriend. I have pretty high anxiety even at the best of times, and I've just been sitting here this week waiting to lose my job, feeling very far away from my aging parents. He's been my lifeline the whole time, and just having him here makes me feel at ease and able to let go of the things I can't control. And we've been having a total blast locked up together. We've talked about wanting to spend our lives together before, but this is a different level. Being on quarantine is difficult as fuck living out of your car. I know I can't really help, but I'm glad you can at least be a part of the internet with us for now. I was not washing my hands enough. My skin has never been so dry. How much my best friend means to me. Heard his voice after a week at home. We are both very introverts, so don't call that much. So when we finally found a game to play together, our first interaction went like this. Me, hey friend. Hey me, it's good to hear your voice again friend. I missed you me, missed you too. How sweet. Having the option to do something, and not doing it sucks far less than not having that option at all. I'm the exact opposite. Less guilt and less negative effect on my self-esteem. I've been feeling pretty good lately, sans the actual coronavirus part, which is probably not a good sign. I'll probably never get to hug my grandpa again, and he'll die thinking his family abandoned him. He's over 90, and in a nursing home. He can barely hear, and is almost completely blind, so it's very difficult for him to comprehend what's going on, and why we can't go see him. My grandma's 92nd birthday was yesterday. I'm in a different state, but the rest of my family made signs and stood in the lawn of the assisted living home with them to say hello and happy birthday. Being blind, you just need bigger signs. I miss hanging out with my brother and sister. We're all in our late 20s-ish. I'm the oldest at 30, and the three of us have hung out all day every day for 8 days now. I love it. This on top of my sister being enlisted and going through basic training is fucked. I can't even just talk to her about anything that's going on and how stressed out about being unemployed I am. It's made me miss the little things. Most people do not understand exponential growth. The repeated headlines of biggest rise in number of confirmed cases yet that pop up every single day can attest to this. A better headline would be pandemic growth rate continues as expected, though I guess if the former gets more clicks, then you could argue that's a better one. Our system isn't prepared for a big outbreak of some kind of sickness. Yesterday, I found this article by National Institutes of Health from 2014. http://.ncbi.nlm.gov/pmc/articles/pmc395468/ in a severe influenza pandemic, hospitals will likely experience serious and widespread shortages of patient pulmonary ventilators and of staff qualified to operate them. Deciding who will receive access to mechanical ventilation will often determine who lives and who dies. In the event of a severe influenza pandemic, the need for life-saving mechanical ventilation will far outstrip the ability to provide it. According to planning assumptions from the Department of Health and Human Services, DHHS, in the United States alone, a severe influenza pandemic would infect 90 million people, hospitalizing nearly 10 million, with almost 1.5 million in ICU units, and with nearly 750,000 people requiring mechanical ventilation. 29. According to Donald, 15, report in the New York Times, there are 105,000 ventilators in the US, 100,000 of which are in use during a regular flu season, although these numbers are difficult to verify, since there is no systematic reporting of ventilators or utilization rates. And, according to McNeil, there is a dispute between government health and security agencies about whether the size of the stockpile ought to be kept secret. That makes verification of the size of the federal stockpile difficult. 15. At the peak of a severe epidemic of moderate duration, the CDC's modeling program Flu Search predicts that influenza patients would require nearly twice the total number of hospital beds, twice the total number of ventilators, and over 4 times the total number of ICU beds in the US. 12. A large portion of this country lives paycheck to paycheck. I've always seen the stats, but never fully realized the effect of that until now. Edit, I'm in the US. Even those who appear to make a lot of money still live paycheck to paycheck. Their costs go up with their income. Personal finance isn't a popular subject because it's synonymous with personal accountability. Just how privileged I am. Don't get me wrong. I have plenty that keeps me up at night. But compared to the trouble a lot of people are in, my worries are nothing. This country is full of people having to choose between risking their family's health versus risking eviction. Folks with parents in nursing homes who they can't visit. People with chronic health conditions who are terrified of a flare-up, while the hospitals are full. Hospital workers who are living in their garages because there are PPE shortages at work and they are afraid of infecting their families. I can't imagine how much stress a lot of my neighbors are under right now. My neighbor seemed on the verge of mental collapse yesterday, all from homeschooling his kids. And he lives in a standalone house in a nice neighborhood that I basically practice social distancing every day already. Yeah, I was like, so my lifestyle actually has a name for it, huh? Cool. Truck drivers and healthcare workers really are the backbone of this country. Confirmed that celebrities are incredibly out of touch with the real world. We're all in this together from my $40 million mansion. As a truck driver, I appreciate that first comment. Ironically, social distancing is somewhat easy in this profession. That I was working too hard because of all the suffering. I'm actually kind of ashamed to admit this has been great for my mental health. Honestly, me too. I was so burnt out and struggling through every single day. I'm laid off, which is a problem in itself, but being away from work has helped me reconnect with myself. How much we take for granted that everything just works, that things like a global supply chain just work. that an average Joe like me can, in the dead of winter, reliably expect to see oranges in the produce aisle. How much we now rely on others as a society. Globally, we rely on manufacturing from around the world. Food grown around the world. They rely on our purchasing things. How incredibly connected we can be with modern ships and airplanes and the internet, and how we didn't realize how fragile that was, or how intricately everything connected. When this all started, I didn't care about toilet paper or food for myself. I only cared about one thing. Was I going to be able to feed my cats? They are broken and spoiled. They have special dietary needs. Would I be able to get a reliable source of D/D venison and green tea? Or hydrolyzed proteins? Or chicken I can boil for my dude who has a sensitive tummy and no teeth? Would the pet stores have enough stock of wet food that he could tolerate? And it humbled and awed me to see an orderly line in front of the vet's office of people maintaining social distance. Isn't it funny? We shout/said to each other what we take for granted. I never thought, one guy hollered, that I would ever be worried about finding food for my dog. That a company can run 5 months without a CEO, but it can't run a single day if workers do not show up all at once one day. Boss is declaring us essential but not himself. He can work from home. Edit. State of me went hardcore and legal folded. We are all out for weeks. D. That my job doesn't care if I die. Edit. Thanks for the upvotes, comments and awards everyone. Mine doesn't either. My boss couldn't give less of a fuck about his employees' health and safety, nor does he trust any of us. We were ordered to shut down by the governor, yet we remain open. Report them. You can do so anonymously, and you will be saving lives by doing so. That I'm suddenly really glad my parents are dead. No, seriously, I see everyone so worried about their elderly folk, and I just don't have that worry. I'm grateful. I see what you mean. My grandparents have all passed, and I would probably be freaking out about their health and safety right now, if they were still alive. That minimum wage workers are way more important than people think, and that people would be screwed without entertainment. There is a reason the phrase bread and circuses is so powerful. Entertainment is key for a stable society. That the country is full of wankers and idiots. That I really want to work from home permanently. This has been the best work week in a while. I love not having to commute 45 minutes each way. Teachers are extremely patient. I have to agree. This is my 27th year in the classroom and I attribute part of my longevity to the fact that I have a lot of patience. I can be asked the exact same question by 5 different students in a 10-minute period, and I'll answer it 5 times, even if I already explained it to the class. We are like butterflies that flutter for a day and think it is forever. Carl Sagan. That's actually really beautiful. That my bosses actually care. The CEO cried when he told us that we were switching to a skeleton crew, with the majority of people going home for 2 weeks. My manager came up to me and apologized for sending me home. You could tell they were both heartbroken. Yes, they are losing money, but the heaviness of the decision to send people home was felt. It was bittersweet. Print newspapers might just die because of this. And print comic books. Distribution of comics in the US is handled primarily by one company, who is currently shut down. Australian here. It was pretty clear that our government didn't manage the bushfire crisis very well. Our Prime Minister in particular was totally tone deaf. When this COVID-19 started spreading, I was willing to give the government the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they learned from the bushfire clusterfuck. But no. Every day it is becoming more and more obvious that they are completely terrible at managing a crisis of this magnitude, and it will cost a lot of lives. I have also learned that a lot of Australians are selfish and/or stupid. For fuck's sake, stop acting like a bunch of hungry cockatoos and pull your bloody heads in. Edit. I know it's meant to be tone deaf. Autocorrect was being a bloody dickhead too. I have also learned that a lot of Australians are selfish and/or stupid. For fuck's sake, stop acting like a bunch of hungry cockatoos and pull your bloody heads in. As an American who grew up with a cockatoo for a pet, this comment made me laugh a little more than it should have. It's time to seize the day once this is over. I'm not going to hesitate to show the people that I love how I feel. Being able to talk to the people you love isn't the same as being there to hold their hand when they're alone, afraid, and in pain. And I miss having them there for me. It's natural human tendency to socialize. Most people are feeling extremely bad without social interaction. Animals are probably wondering what the hell happened. Not polluting this place for 2 weeks makes this much of a difference. Edit. Thank you for silver. I'm surprised this isn't higher. The pictures and videos of animals in cities and clear waters in this shorter period of time is amazing. Grocery store staff are essential workers, bless them all.